Hey friends, I'm back to keep working on Freyja's toy chest. So last time we talked, I went ahead and did all my planning. You can watch that video if you missed it. There should be a link somewhere. But I came away from it with this plan and a prettier diagram. And with it, a cut list. So I know how many cuts of what various sizes I need to make. So I'm going to be making those cuts and then we can move on to the next step. I already off camera cut my 2x2s, 4 of them. They will make the 4 legs that the whole thing sits on. So I'm gonna cut the cross supports and then the bits that go between them. And I probably won't get to the plywood today, but while you're watching this video, you'll see it all come together. All right, on we go. All right, so let's set up to make these cuts. I'm gonna be making these cuts on my miter saw. And first thing is I'm gonna set up my dust collection. Like a lot of people in a small shop, I use a shop vac as my dust collection. Lovely shop vac, got it for free from a coworker who was retiring. And I have attached a dust separator to it, which separates out the particles and makes it a lot easier to keep clean. Keeps my filter clean, keeps everything great. This is just a great little hose system for, like, you know, zooming stuff up. But I'm going to attach this to my miter saw. So that comes off, stay there so I don't lose you. Let's scoot a little more away from the wall. Nice. Dust collection to go. I've cut my 2x2s, which as you recall was 4 18-inch lengths. Check. All right, my 1x3s, I need 4 27-inch lengths. I can get 3 from one of my lengths and then the other from the other. All right, let's do it. Ugh, this stand is wobbly. It's not so much the stand's wobbly, it's that my basement is a really uneven floor. Someday I'll have a permanent type shop. It'll be great. All right, okay, I'll resign. Good. Will I be able to set up a stop block? That was set for something else, so let's see. It's always nice when you can set up a stop block. Right there. Okay, hold still for a sec. That's just a friction fit, just while I'm wrangling things. And good, I can. As you see, I have barely enough rail left to put a stop block on here, but this, because I can, it means my repeat cuts will be a lot easier. Now we'll double check that nothing shifted while I was doing that. Looks pretty good. All right, safety goggles. Shop vac. I'm just gonna check my first cut before I repeat it. Perfect, it's just a hair over 27. It's okay that it's not exact in that direction as long as all of them are the same. All right, so there's one. Now let's take a look. My 4 pieces. Yeah, they feel like a good length. All right, I'm gonna have to do some dimensioning. See how they don't line up perfectly? There's that gap. That is because each board has a little bit of warp to it. So I'm going to have to get them perfectly flat before I assemble everything together. That's the next step. I also need to get 4 15-inch lengths. So this is that piece that was remaining from the one that I cut 3/27s. Let's see how long it is. Because it was an 8-foot board, so if you remember, 27, 27, 27, 15 leads to 8 foot. But take a look at that. It is too short by the width of about 3 cuts. So this is scrap. It's fine. I'll find a use for it in the future. So now I'm gonna cut 4 15-inch lengths from my other board. Perfect. We can use that line. Don't line. Nice. It's gonna cut it up. That's not all yours. So no, good. All right, now these work. All right, let's work again. It's all the same. Those 4 pieces. Which are nice and lined up. And because they're all from the same board, they are aligned with each other, but I'm still gonna probably have to dimension all of these. All right, so what do I have left? I made my 27-inch cuts, I made my 15-inch cuts. That's all everything on the 1x3. So now it's just the 1x2. So I have those 10-inch cuts to make, but I'm actually not gonna make them yet because until I dimension all of my boards, I could be, the measurements that I estimated could be off by, you know, 1/8 of an inch or something, and I just don't wanna have that gap. So I'll dry fit it together, and then once it's together, then I'll measure again, confirm that 10-inch, and then make those cuts. And same thing with the boards that will lay at the bottom of it and support the plywood bottom. So what I'm gonna work on right now is dimensioning my lumber. So that means taking these pieces, and they look like they're pretty flat and smooth, definitely much flatter and smoother than if I'd gotten like really rough 2x4s. But they aren't perfectly so. So I'm just gonna give them a few passes through my jointer. This is my jointer, to make them smooth on the bottom. Let me show you how the jointer works. So the jointer works with a blade that flips around here. I'll feed my piece in, let me grab a small piece so I can show you. I feed my piece in this way, the blade flips around, and it chews off just the right amount underneath to make it flat. I push it all the way through. If the board's badly bowed or cupped, I might have to do it a few more times until it's all done. I can adjust how deep it is here. And I can use this back fence to push it up so I can joint the edges too. Once I'm happy with that, I will take it to the planer. So the planer works in the other direction. When I feed my wood through, the blade is up here, so it'll chew off the top. So once I've got that bottom perfectly smooth, it goes through very flatly on this plate, and the top will be smoothed perfectly in line with it. So you might be asking, why use a planer? Why not just on your jointer flip it over and joint the other side? And you can, and in fact I did that until I got a planer, which I actually just got this planer. This is gonna be my first time using it, so sure hope I remember what to do. No, I'll be fine, I have Google. But so if you just flip your piece over on the jointer, you will get the sides flat and smooth. However, if you're not applying your pressure totally evenly, because you're a human and you can mess stuff up, you may end up with one side of your piece more narrow than the other as you just take it off in an uneven way. So the sides will be flat, but they won't be the same thickness throughout. So, yeah, I did that with the jointer for some time on many projects, and it's mostly okay. I only really ran into trouble when I was doing a drawer face, and I like set it into the drawer and one side was like sticking out and not flush, and I was like, oh, damn it. Anyway, but I have my planer now, so let's see how this goes. Don't forget your safety equipment. Or your dust control. So I sighted down the board, and it's a little curved this way. So I'm going to feed it through like this, so it'll just clip the edges first. I'm going to make a pencil mark on the board. All the way through, just a little swoopy line. And when I've taken all the pencil mark off, I know that it's perfectly flat. And this is my mark to myself which way's up, so I know that I'm jointing this side and planing this side. These are push blocks for pushing it through. You don't want to hurt your fingers. So you probably heard that, right? How you heard it whirring off some at the beginning and the end, but not in the middle? That's because, as I mentioned, it was cupped like that. So let's look. Yeah. So it's taken off my pencil mark to here, and then from here out, but not the middle. So keep going. Well, that made a mess. All right, so what I'm trying to do now is taper the legs. I was thinking of like a cut about like this. So the way I want to do that is run it through, let me show you. So here's that cut. I want to run it through basically like this. So that it'll trim just that away. So that I can just turn it and do the exact same thing again, because I'm going to taper 2 of the sides, but not 3. So I measured it earlier, and this is about an 80-degree angle. Like where this would be 90, this is 80. And unfortunately, my miter sled will only miter up to 60 degrees, which just isn't going to work in this situation. So I'm going to have to get creative. These are fence clamps. They're good for securing jigs. Okay, I feel pretty good about this. Oh, it doesn't want to come up anymore. Right, look at this. Here we go. Nice. I'm really pumped. This is just what I wanted to be. So it's beveled on the two sides, or tapered on the two sides. So it's just gonna look awesome. This will still be the outside. So the taper will be appearing on the inside, but you'll see it from both ways. Oh, it's gonna look so good. All right, it looks like the cut went a little past that 3-inch mark I was hoping for. That's okay, we'll adjust for it, because now that I've got the jig set up, I just want to cut all of them the exact same as each other. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Cool. All right, so next up, I'm gonna get to play with my doweling jig. I haven't gotten a chance to use this yet, but basically it just creates dowel holes. It'll do it at, excuse me. Basically it just creates dowel holes. It'll do it at 1/4 inch, 3/8, 5/16, 7/16, or 1/2. I have some pre-done dowels that I just got for easiness that are 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 5/16. So I'll use one of those holes, but what size? So this is the thickness of the boards. This is a 1/4 inch dowel. It kind of looks like it's the right size for it. I wouldn't be worried about it splitting out. This is the 5/16 inch. I could probably drill it nice and straight, but I'm just worried about its size relative to the thickness of the board. Yeah, and the 3/8 is right out. I would definitely split it. So I think I'm going to be using these 1/4 inch dowels for connecting the sides to the legs. I might try to get, when I'm connecting the base in, I might try to use slightly sturdier dowels just to be extra safe. But I mean, I'm going to be gluing as well as doweling, so we should be good. But yeah, let's use these 1/4 inches. All right. So these are the 1/4 inch inserts that go in here. Don't need you guys. And now I need a 1/4 inch drill. Wrench. That's pretty deep. How far will it go in? Oh, not that far. It'll go in that amount at current, which is not even as deep as the thing itself. Still, I might want to keep it so it's only going in about half the length. I have something for this. just a depth stop. I don't want to take much off it. So now it's doweling in just about half of it. You know, I changed my mind. You know what? I'll use the depth stop when I'm doweling in on the legs, but not when I'm doweling in on these ends. And then I think I'll have a good sized hole in total. Okay, cool. Just lining it up on the edge here, and see, it'll end up, can you see these guys? So it'll end up not quite centered on the board, but that's for the best because I want to be able to offset it a little at the corners. It'll make sense when it all goes together. So as I tighten it, it's supposed to automatically center itself. I guess it's kind of doing that. This is my first time using this. Right, it feels pretty tight. All right, let's give it a shot. It's because my drill was on backwards. I just bumped it at some point and I didn't notice because I'm a dummy. I'm glad it was just that and not something serious because I was about to be like, fuck, I'm just dumb. Phew. So the dowel fits, but it's tight, and that's what we want. Ooh, okay, get out there. Good. Now, we want to make sure that this lines up perfectly with the edge that it's going to. But obviously if I was trying to center it here, or using this jigget to center it, that just wouldn't be correct. I want it to be lined up on the outside. So, what I have are, they're called doweling pins, doweling centers. Shoot. The idea is it fits right into here. Let me get the second one in there. So they fit right in. These are sharp points. And they've made, I'm not sure if you can see it, but they've made tiny little divots. So that'll be a good hole for me to start on. Right, so I'm doing like about less than half of this dowel length. So I'm gonna put on that stop collar. And now I don't have a guide to keep me straight, so I'm just gonna have to be as precise as I can. I wish I had a drill press. I'm gonna drill a little pilot hole first, just to help me keep straight. Right on the divot there. Nice. Nice. Oh, all right. One of them was a little bit off. That was my mistake. So I can't really re-drill it, but I can fix it in sanding. I'll be more careful on the next ones. Okay, I got it in the long lengths. Now I gotta do the hard, finicky, tricky part and try to get it into the legs straight. Wish me luck. I did a better job this time, more precise. I'm only going to get better as I keep going, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Just got to be really careful I keep these in the right orientation. I want the taper to be facing inside, so I just have to keep track of what way's inside. And that one's pretty good too. Whew, okay. I'm getting the hang of this. As you can see, it's weird. Yeah, nice. Okay. I'm labeling each leg with what thing connects to it, just so I don't get confused, because all of them are going to be just a little bit different. Okay, forgive me, I don't have enough of the 1/4-inch dowels, so I'm gonna just reassemble them and move things around. I'll give you I'll cut to a shot in a couple days when I have all the dowels, and then you'll be like, ooh, you'll never know, except I just told you. Okay, we're wobbly due to not having enough dowels right now, but check it out. Yes, it's upside down. We've got an outline of something. Okay, so now I should dowel and connect all the lower legs, but that'll be kind of hard to do without having actual dowels, so let me think about that. I might put that off a sec. Okay, I can't run out and get more dowel pins because it's actually Easter today. You know, a holiday, and people are like with their families and stuff. Not just sitting around waiting for one woodworker to come by and buy some dowel pins. So I'm gonna leave you here. Here we are. Just imagine that the other cross braces are all in here, so that I'll get those cross braces in. We'll be able to measure, confirm the dimensions of the plywood, and we'll be able to keep going. I'm not going to glue everything yet. I'm going to wait until everything's fitted. So right now this is called a dry fit. In other words, a fit without glue, so you can go back and twiddle with things just, to make sure that once you are ready to glue, you're getting it really, really square, because that's what you want, super square. All right, so tune in for part 2. Probably post it probably next week, but I'm having a lot of fun, so thanks for hanging out with me. Pippin, are you gonna help me edit? Oh, you're gonna get on the desk. Pippin. Pippin, you wanna show off for everyone? It's Pippin. He's my special guy. Mary, you're my helper too? Wow, it's Mary.